All right. Good morning again. Another episode. We are on our way to 100 episodes, guys.
We're getting there. We're like
little
quarter
far
of the way there.
We're a quarter of the way there.
Yeah.
See, and now we're out. We got some nice guests for you today, and they're going to talk a lot about the history of our community. But first of all, you two are on probation.
Probation?
Well, first of all, good morning to all the guests that listen to this. We got to put
Good morning. You're on probation, but good morning.
yeah, we're going to put Eli and Travis on probation because our last episode.
Is it because you forgot about the email?
Yeah, is it because you forgot to ask
so
us what the email was?
So I have a staff
Is
that
why
I
we're
pay
in trouble?
I pay a staff very big bucks. Maybe I don't. But I have a staff that's supposed to take care of that. We forgot the email address. So, gentlemen, what is the email address for this podcast?
It's yeswayjosemail@gmail.com.
Bam.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. And we got to make sure that we have it out there. We'll do it twice today to make up. It's kind of like, when you get to a stop sign.
That's fair.
And you roll through the stop sign, you say you're going to stop twice at the next one.
Is that what you do?
That's my yes. I mean,
I've
you
never
can't,
heard
can
that.
you not do that?
Is that a thing?
I'm
You
not,
just make
I'm
that
not
up on
sure
the
if
spot.
that
Can
works.
you do that? Can you not do that?
I don't think that's how that works.
You're supposed to stop
Yeah,
at each one.
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, the mayor's not stopping at stop signs. That's going to be on Facebook.
I'm more confused about how you're stopping twice at the next one.
That's just trying to make it.
I get how you're
giving yourself whiplash.
Yeah, I understand how you're rolling through
So
one.
I'm going to
Yeah.
stop and then roll just a little bit and then stop again at that same stop sign. Can that work?
Whatever makes you feel better.
I just making sure somehow I match it up. It's kind of like we'll have to say our email twice in the episode, maybe 3 times to make up for the episode that we didn't do. So good morning, everybody. We're glad to have you. Obviously, every time we do one of our podcasts, we try to make sure that people understand this is about our community. It's not just about Shepherdsville, it's Bullitt County. It even sometimes it involves some things that happen in our state. But we really want to make sure people get to know a little bit what's going on with our community. But this is a fun one today. This is history. I love history. Travis does. What kind of grades did you make in history, Eli? Did you have any
My
ideas?
grades weren't bad. I can't say I was the most interested in school, but
Eli
my
has,
grades weren't bad.
Eli has seen The Patriot.
Okay, okay.
I haven't.
Yes.
I haven't.
You
Oh,
haven't
you
seen
haven't?
it?
No.
That's a great
I thought
movie.
you saw The Patriot.
It's a great
Dad
movie.
wants to watch it with me. I just haven't.
Oh, it's a
I
great.
don't
You're
have
going to
to,
love the movie. It's got the son, father, son. Oh, you're going to love it. It's a great movie.
He watched that one with me too. I don't know. That must be a thing.
He
with
really
him.
likes that movie.
He
Yeah.
does
It's a
like that movie
great
a lot.
movie.
Yeah.
It's a great movie. So anyway, good morning again. Obviously for us, when we put these episodes on, we try to make sure that they're delayed.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, this one will be next week. Yeah.
Well, so we'll talk about when this one comes up. I want you to know we're going to have a great food truck invasion that we're going to talk about it and keep talking about it because we're going to keep doing 2 a year.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was great. It was the best
great.
one.
It's great. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
great. So
He
good.
says that he's missing it. He has to work.
I have to work.
Wait, how late is it?
Oh.
How
Yeah, I
late
have to
does it go?
It's 12 to 5.
Oh yeah,
I might be able to make it.
So,
I
yeah.
might be able to make it.
Well-
It depends on what time I get off.
Yeah, well, for both of you guys, we do 2 of them a year, and it's always a really good thing, good turnout for it. So we want people to come out and have fun with us because as we develop the city and do the things we're doing, we want to have different community events on that actually kind of shows you some of the progress, but also gives you a chance to see all the good things we're going to do. Because do you guys know we're building an aquatic center?
No, you never mentioned it.
I never
Yeah.
mentioned on any of the
Nope.
No, that
Never heard
the
of it.
podcast. Never mentioned about the.
Where's it at? Is it over there by Car Country?
Yes,
Is that what that is?
Yes, it's right over there.
Starting to go up some too.
Yeah, so I want to tell you, first of all, we have food truck invasions that we do. We obviously got some great stuff in the park that we're doing. We obviously have an aquatic center being built, and I'm taking care of traffic on I-65.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, I'm going to go out there with a whistle.
With
And kind of direct traffic.
What do you call
with
them?
those things
Yeah.
at the airport.
Yeah,
Get those little orange
we
sticks
went
at the airport.
and saw monster trucks with my son the other day, and that's how they get them around
They
the
do?
arena. Yeah, they got
Oh.
those light sticks. Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Well, anyway, good morning. As you know, we always put on good guests, and we have 2 fine folks here that represent really a lot of the history here of the city. So, first of all, would you both introduce your names and say good morning to everybody, and then we'll get started.
My name is Sheri Hatter, and I'm with the Bullitt County History Museum across from the best mayor in Shepherdsville.
That's what I'm talking about. See, she's going to
She
be
got it
on.
done early.
No, yeah, hold on. So she's going to be on every other episode.
She didn't do quotation
How many
marks or
times are we
anything.
supposed to say that?
At least a gazillion.
Okay.
David, say good morning. They probably know who you are.
Good morning.
The check at the end of the episode depends on how many times you say it.
Oh, okay. So, I'm David Strange. Been around doing the county history stuff for 50 years now, so I can't believe almost everything I talk about anymore is 50 years ago. It's weird.
50
to be this
years
old.
ago.
But helped start the Bullitt County History Museum, was director there the first 10 years. Sheri, did you say you're the director now? But you are the
Yes.
director.
Yes.
Yeah, so I got both of you guys that actually did so much with that museum over there, and really it was great. So you guys, we celebrated 20 years.
Yes.
Yeah, talk about that. Will you guys talk a little bit about that first before we
It
get
was
into some of the history?
fabulous.
Well,
It was
great.
fabulous.
Yeah.
We had 200 people come through there.
That's awesome.
Yes, it was, and we made $2,000.
Well, good for
That's
you guys.
the biggest fundraiser they've ever had.
Well, I can tell you, my wife did the scavenger hunt, and it was really funny. Some things were so obvious. It's like a hit you in the forehead. With the pigeon up there on top.
Yeah.
Remember the pigeon's like, where's the pigeon? It's on the wire that they usually hang on when you're It's like, it was that kind of scavenger hunt.
Well, I did it for fun, and I had trouble finding a couple of them, and we
Yeah.
put the stuff in there.
Yeah.
But the pigeons, I'm glad you like the pigeons.
I like the pigeons. You get into one of the rooms, the pigeons were up on a telephone.
I like the idea that he's walking around like, where did we put that thing?
And it's the thing now too that you look at some of the original pictures when we first started 20 years ago. It's a pretty empty room, pretty Spartan things, just a few things that we
Yeah.
come up with. And now it's pretty well packed. And
So what all y'all got in
space
there?
problems.
What's in there?
Well, we got pigeons.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah.
I got to continue with that a moment.
Absolutely,
We have a communication section about communication.
Oh, okay.
And there's the first post office of Mount Washington was just a little desk that's in there. The first TV in Bullitt County is in there. That came from Lebanon Junction. Long time ago, so it's there. Several and a telegraph. There's a radio that plays World War II reports about the attack on Pearl Harbor. That's
Yeah.
playing
Oh,
there,
that's
so
cool. That's
communication.
really cool.
But the pigeons are on a telephone post, and we had to bring. This is the kind of thing I like, Jose. Is rather than just straight scholarly history, I like to tell stories.
Yeah.
And we brought in this old telephone post from where Blue Lick and Preston Highway was at one time. And it's got, to use your word, I think a gazillion nails and tacks.
Oh, yeah.
And every kind of thing
Yeah.
where people have
Oh, yeah.
tacked on, have put things on the post. And so we brought that in the courthouse, set it up in this display room. Yeah, I like the little fun things, just adding some pigeons up on the power line.
Oh, yeah.
It was really cool.
So we did that.
We do want to make sure we encourage everybody to come see the museum because it does give a lot of the history here. There's a lot of things, and one of the things that happens to folks is, progress is one piece, but you can keep your history. Now, things like the floods and some of the buildings that are in the downtown area that have been washed away because of that, you can't do anything about. But anything we can restore, and we're going to have a cool project we're going to talk about here in a minute. But I think that reminder to come, please, everybody, if you live in Bullitt County, come by the museum. It's on downtown Buckman. It's right there in front of the fiscal court building. It is in the building, but it's important for you guys to come see because you're going to find out if you're from here, you're going to find that connection. You might find somebody in your family. You see a picture and go, wait a minute. I know that person in that picture. And that's kind of a really fun thing for a lot of folks, but I think it's very informative. I think you both have done a really wonderful job with that. So thank you, first of all. For
And
that
it's
piece.
a free admission.
Absolutely.
Right there in the courthouse.
Yeah.
People forget about the research room. We've got, how many family files have we got?
We've got over 766 family files,
Oh, wow.
and we just finished scanning all of those.
Oh, wow.
All right,
the
modern day,
vol-
baby.
Yeah, that's-
The vol-
21st century.
I bet that was
Yes,
fun.
The volunteers have
a lot of
scanned
work.
10,000 death certificates.
Oh, my.
And right now they're working on all the family binders because the binders get created when the family file folder gets too big for
No
the
kidding.
drawers.
Okay,
So
okay.
we've got a lot of information there, but a lot of people don't know that we're there to do your family history
Yeah, I didn't know that.
as well as
Oh, wow.
have artifacts throughout there. We've got 15 display cases.
Yeah.
And we got 7 of them just in 2023.
Yeah, you've really expanded a lot
Yeah,
over the last few years. I mean,
it's
I
really
really do.
blossomed.
Well, and I think obviously both of you guys, but your passion for the history is really an important part. But for everybody to know that it's free, it's accessible to you, get out there and check it out. One of the cool things that you guys just did is talk about the Black history. And about the video. I'm talking about that interaction with the videos.
Let me quickly
Yes.
throw in
Yeah.
though that the museum is a group of volunteers. It's
Absolutely.
It's not a government agency or anything. It's volunteers, very devoted, good people.
They are very devoted. I see everybody taking pride. They got their shirts on. They always want to tell you what they're working on and stuff. I thought that was really cool when I came by.
Right now I've got 14 to 16 volunteers.
Wow.
And they are so dedicated.
Yeah.
But yes, I wasn't on the job. I've been the director for about 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't on the job 2 months. And Troy Beam called me and he goes, I've got the project. You've got the history.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know this project was going to take 2 years.
Sure.
But
It's really cool, guys.
It is. My job was to pick out 3 Black African American people. So I chose Annie Reed from the train wreck. I chose C.H. Parrish from the Eckstein Norton All Black University. And I chose Maddie Owen from the Bowman Valley School. And I had to write 3 30-second plays.
Oh, wow.
And I wrote these plays, and Darlene Ayers helped me write the one with Maddie Owen because she had Maddie Owen as her teacher. So
Isn't that something? That's pretty cool. That's really cool stuff, man.
It is very
30-second play sounds like a challenge. That's like 30 seconds.
I mean, you don't get to say a lot,
Right,
but
yeah.
yet you got to say enough.
Yeah, you got to tell the whole story.
Right. So, and see, so many people don't even know that Bullitt County had an all-black university
Yeah, I
See,
didn't know
in
that.
Cane Spring.
It's
I had no
remarkable.
idea.
Back in the late 1800s.
Really?
So I wrote these 3 scenes. We had to send a picture that looked as much like the person as possible. And then Hollywood found the people,
Oh, okay.
and then they acted out those scenes. So after a 2-year span, the sign gets put in the front lawn of the courthouse. And you take your phone and you scan that QR
really
code,
cool.
and then you choose the one you want to listen to,
Oh, okay.
and it comes to life right in front of you.
Oh, like
it's augmented reality.
Yeah, augmented reality,
Yes,
yeah.
kind of like the Pokemon.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
It is fabulous.
Huh.
You've got to go see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
So
does
again,
sound
another
cool.
feature of something that really does. Again, our history has to be really understood first. It's kind of what's the old adage? You've got to know where you were before you go forward. It kind of gives you some idea of where you really want to see. I mean, and I think sometimes history can be always skewed a certain way. I always tend to believe that, you know what? Let's get the facts on the table, right? Feelings and opinions are important, and I say that a lot too.
Yeah.
But facts matter. Facts matter about our county and what we've done, how we've grown, and we're going to continue to grow. You know, I keep always thinking about that diversity piece is just something that's out there because you do have a good community like we have. You're going to see more and more folks that want to be part of our community. But I think it's great to hear some of that history, and I think the interaction with those things are really cool. So that's another piece that people can really enjoy getting. If you're downtown anyway, just take an hour of your time out. Just go walk through everything. You know, we're going to have more things downtown. Obviously, we're going to have Salt River Brewing, and if you guys know anything, I like beer. That's not a secret. But I think it's important we have those type of things, the coffee and wine and all the things with the downtown experience. This is just part of that experience. And we want to make sure people really know that. I think you're going to see much more traffic down there over the next 5 and 10 years. You're going to see
I'm glad to see what else going on.
Yeah, it's really exciting to see that kind of development that helps us bring people to what is Shepherdsville? Who is Shepherdsville? What is it about it that makes us who we are? And I think that's the part. I didn't grow up here, but I'm very proud to be part of this community. I love the people aspect of this, and we get to learn something about our past. But anyway, we have another cool project, guys. We bought a bank.
Oh, yeah.
The city bought a bank. Yeah. It's an old bank there was a beauty salon, and it was there for years as a beauty salon. But part of that town square was really difficult to try to keep that business there. And it was really, we put a lot of thought into it. We tried to move some things around. But to make it part of the town square experience. So you're going to go for the museum. You come over to the town square. You're going to have an entrance. You'll have a bison out there. David's probably going to get this picture on that bison. I'm almost sure.
Got to ride the bison.
Gotta
Yeah,
ride the bison.
Yeah.
So we're going to have an entrance there. We're still looking at the water feature to be part of that as far as when you come into that area. There's going to be panels. You two are working on that. We really kind of started it. But once we get within about 6 months of where it's going to be, so probably next spring, because it's late fall, that the downtown area, we think that that'll be more developed to be having the history panels. Because what they're going to do, Eli, Travis, other way around.
I was about to say.
Hey, I just lost my mind for a minute. Just
It's like
for a
my
minute.
mom. She's always calling me Eli. She's always calling me Travis.
Yeah, do that sometimes. But they're going to be putting together the history of the panels that as you walk into that part of the park, the town square, that there's some more of the history that you're going to see. And we're going to try to do some rotating of different things, maybe some seasonal things, different times of the year that history was going on in Bullitt County. And specifically Shepherdsville, we have some really cool things. So then you get to that bank. David, Sheri, and Dennis are all going to work together. All three of them are historians, and Dennis, the artist piece, and we're really going to go in there and
Dennis
really
Schaffner,
and really fix the inside where it's all the history of Shepherdsville and the bank and the floods.
Yeah.
You know, some of the things that we've had, there are buildings down there that are no longer here that were memories for a lot of folks, especially right there at the corner of Joe B. Hall, where we're going to actually have that entrance. So then the other piece, the green space there before First Street and the bank, is going to be a Veterans Memorial. All of that area is going to be kind of a retreat area, kind of a nice quiet area. You can sit back in there, benches, but you'll have all that back in there. So a lot of good stuff. So we're working on that.
Yeah, the bank. Hopefully you can keep the big magnolia tree. You're working
Yes,
on that.
yeah, absolutely.
Remembrance of Tom Pack, Tom Pack was our really the historian in the county. He passed away just a couple of months before the museum opened.
No kidding.
Yeah,
Really?
that was his dream,
Say that again.
life dream.
What was it? Tom
Pack, P-A-C-K.
Tom Pack. Okay, did not know that.
Good guy. That one tree is remembering him. But I was thinking the other day too, we ought to give, we are giving credit to Charlie Hamilton and his son Jim Hamilton, who owned the old Stone Bank. They owned it for like 41 years. And when we got looking around it, when you showed us around the building, it's still really well kept for an old building. The typical failure in people is that they cut a bunch of big holes, or they slap a lot of paint on everything. This is still the original barren rock that it was made in. And between them and forgive me, the lady who had the
McDade. Oh,
the hairdresser that had business there for
Jamie Comer.
Okay, obviously I don't need that kind of work.
I mean, I don't need it either.
But between them, great kudos to them. They kept the building up really nice.
Yeah, really for the building being that old. I mean, really it does. I mean, and the stone inside of it, it's got a great opportunity to reflect a lot of what's going on in the community. And like I said, you know, one of the things that's always tough, that's a very sensitive thing for that business to be there for that length of time. But the owners really wanted to do something that fit really what was going on with the city. So, you know, we appreciate the Hamiltons and the folks and working with us on making that happen. But we want to turn it into something that everybody can be proud of, that ties in with the museum already and the history that's going to be correlating between those two sections. I think it's going to be a fun time. We've got a lot of stuff on the outside. We'll be working on to aesthetically make it look a little nicer, a little landscape. So we talked about some railing through there. So we got a lot we're working on. So we got this kind of project over here. So it's really cool with the history piece.
Probably, if not the oldest, one of the oldest buildings in the city.
I think it's really cool. I just think it's going to be a great piece to go walk in there. We're going to try to do some kiosk things with the tourism so that when you come into that building, not only you go see the history of that building, but you're also going to know what to do in Shepherdsville and Bullitt County.
Yeah, those kiosks are cool. I've
Isn't
messed
that-
around with a couple of them. They're pretty neat.
Yeah.
I think they're a great venue for getting you just to click a few buttons on, especially for you younger folks.
Yeah, well, I
it's
mean,
really-
like I said, every time I've ever walked up to like a brochure stand, I sit there and I look at a couple of them. By the time I see like three of them, I'm like, I can't even hardly take in what I'm looking at anymore, and I just give up. So,
Well, and Jose, you're working with Dennis Shafter, who couldn't be here today, with maybe having some art in there and stuff. too.
Absolutely. So there's a back. Well, let's get into the most important part. There's a bathroom in there, and there's a safe.
oh yeah,
It's actually
I was
in the-
wondering. I was gonna say, as
it's
an old
a-
bank, did you find any like old gold or anything? in there?
No gold and no money, but I will tell you, it's a different kind of safe. When we think of safes as we think of safes, it's not. It's actually inserted into the wall. It's maybe I'd say about 18 inches by 3 feet. It's not a very big safe, but
Yeah,
it's
with
in that.
just an iron plate door on the
Yeah,
front.
in the front of it. That was funny. First time I walked into the building, I go, what is that? That's the safe. And then I thought about putting like Monopoly money in there. So
We got to come up with something.
got to come up with something for that. Maybe we put like little fake dollar bills that have Shepherdsville in the middle of it, and just something you could say, hey, you got this from when you went into the tourism building.
And
put,
the
you could-
one odd thing on that
Yeah.
too is that's in a separate little room in that
Yeah.
stone building.
It's so funny.
And that's where over time was converted to a bathroom.
Uh-huh.
So there's a toilet and sink.
Yeah, it's
in
just
there.
it's.
And I'm trying to think what kind of cool name could we come up with?
Oh, yeah.
I was gonna say,
Safe room,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
with
he's got. What was the one? That's okay.
I don't remember now.
But it's we're gonna try to come up with something funny because of it being. It's not the safe.
Yeah, I was gonna say you could put like the chocolate
It's a
coins
safe
in
room.
there, but now that I know it's a bathroom,
Yeah,
you know,
chocolate
I do-
might not be
yeah,
the best.
yeah, it might not be the
No.
best. Yeah.
But yeah, that's by verbal history. That's supposed to be the first bank this side of the Appalachian Mountains. That's,
Really?
That's the verbal history.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
we really need to try to document.
I was about to
something
say,
on that,
yeah,
so
yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Yeah.
So I think the piece that go back to it gives another reflection of this community and things that have been here in the past and how we can restore anything we can. We are going to do some things in the park. We'd like to be able, as we develop the park, as far as benches, maybe putting something with these benches that give you this bench is here, but this is something to tell you about Shepherdsville. we wanted all, when you walk through the park, maybe tidbits that you can learn about
Yeah.
our city and
Yeah,
what's
some
been,
little
what it's
history
been through.
markers. Be
Like
great.
where'd Shepherdsville
Yeah.
get its name? Where'd Shepherdsville get its name? Do you guys know?
First name,
Adam Shepherd.
Adam
Yeah.
Shepherd.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
I got you.
And
I knew,
Shepherd
I knew.
Parkway.
I was about
Actually-
to say I knew
Yeah.
Bullitt County because Thomas Bullitt, right?
Yeah,
Is that-
who never actually lived here.
Right, yeah, he
You
just
know,
came
on
and
the
then
Salt
like
Licks
he never
and
even
stuff.
came back, right? He came here and then like he was gonna come back and never he like died before he came back or something like that. Yeah, yeah.
Adam Shepherd owned the area, and I think he might have donated the land for the first part of the city.
Seems like I probably didn't
wow.
know that. I
At
knew
the-
Adam. Yeah, I've heard Shepherd, Adam Shepherd.
At
I've
the,
heard
yeah,
that.
at the time they were needing to create the county. Of course, you have to have a county seat.
Yeah.
And so that became the city.
He was like, I own the most, probably. Yeah.
It happens, you know. How
Yeah.
it goes.
But Bullitt County was actually named after his nephew Alex.
Oh, okay. Oh, really?
Wow.
Not Tom. Okay.
So we got the historians here. I didn't know it was Alex. I didn't know that.
Isn't it Alex? Alex
I
Bullitt?
thought Thomas actually, so we need to check
Thomas.
those
All
out.
right,
maybe maybe both.
We've got
Now
a
we
dilemma.
have a debate.
We have a dilemma.
I guess
gotta
it's
hit
named
the
after their
books.
family.
Oh, yeah, it's
Yeah.
Bullitt family
Yeah.
of what most of us would know of the Oxmoor Farm, Oxmoor
Uh-huh.
Shopping Center.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
That was the Bullitt Farm, the family farm.
Yeah, he was. What was it? He came up here. He was like looking for ports on the river or something like that, and he found the
Yeah,
salt.
and got into
Yeah.
the salt, which was a critical thing, and then
Yeah.
it's
Oh, yeah.
right here in Bullitt County. Salt making was a big thing in the pioneer days.
Yeah, and I saw some. I have a book. It's like the history of Louisville or something. It's like an old from like the 1800s or something like that. It's like Ben Case Day, something like that. I don't know. It's an old book. But anyway, it said something about he had to negotiate with the Native Americans here for hunting rights whenever
Oh, wow.
he came here
Yes.
because otherwise they would not take kindly to that, I guess.
It's an odd thing. Strikes me a lot of times is there's 2 or 3 log cabins around the county and a few things here in the city that you got to begin to imagine that was the only thing.
Right, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you've got a broken leg, tough.
Yeah,
there's-
good luck.
There is nobody around to help
Yep.
you, and that must have been some scary times sometimes.
I would imagine.
Well, it's pretty easy on all the logo stuff that everybody knows. 1793 was the establishment of Shepherdsville, right? So in that process, people need to understand that there's been a lot going through here. Again, this is going west. This is considered west.
Yeah.
When you talk about the early years, especially in the 16 and 1700s, I mean, this is west.
Now we're Midwest, but whatever.
Yeah, we're not even Midwest.
I guess.
think.
Yeah,
I mean, I know
we're
still
we're in
called.
no man's land. Yeah.
We're-
But you're right when you hear when you read some histories, they talk about going west or being west.
Yeah,
this
was west.
Yeah.
This was west.
Those mountains, they had to get over the mountains.
So what I want to do is make sure that we try to, obviously we have Amber Odell, our community planner. Anytime you guys put anything on, please let us know, because that's a big piece. We want to recognize that there is work, all the volunteers and the things that you guys do to get that information out there. I'm excited. I know you're excited. I know you've been I've been watching her. David, you're like me. I mean, there's kind of like you go through a process, but she seems to be so really wanting, what's the next phase? So what's the next phase
Oh,
for
I
the
love her
museum?
energy.
Yeah.
He's just letting her do it. He's just letting, like, I'm done.
So what's going on? What's going
Okay, well, let me tell you. On Tuesday, next week is Honor Week for veterans.
Yep.
And on Tuesday, the American Legion is going to present us with some World War I, World War II artifacts.
Oh, cool.
And they want to come out and see Kami Robeson's Purple Heart that we've got on display. So we've got a military room where they're gonna present that to me in that room if there's room. If there's not enough room, we'll go out in the hall. Normally the museum would be closed because the courthouse is supposed to be closed, but I'm gonna be open that day.
Okay.
And then as for the next phase, after we get Christmas, we're going to be open on Light Up Shepherdsville. So people will come in and check out our stuff that day. We were pretty busy last year for our first time.
Yeah, the Light Up Shepherdsville. It's like a lot of different events. We've talked about this before on the show. Everything's been booming. There's been such an atmosphere, a different feeling in this community. And if I want to pick something that means the most to me is the pride that people are starting to have with being part of Shepherdsville. Yes, we do have the Project Aquatic Center again, and the playground, and the skate park, and all the park plans. And we're excited about that. But there's bringing more things to that. We are going to see a growth out here. That's going to be here. And it's going to be more folks to be in. But we want people to come downtown. We want them to stop by the museum because it really means for people to know where they're at. I know that when we go to different places, we went all out west. We loved all the history, Buffalo Bill and all.
Yeah.
You got to read a lot of different things. Well, we have that here.
Yeah, we're older than them.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So we're older than them. And so I think for us, that's the piece that we want people to know is, it's nice about the Aquatic Center and all the different fun things, but this is important to us. That's a third time. Count them up, Eli.
Throw it in there.
You can tell.
Yellowstone's nice, but
Yes, yeah. And it was. But I think for us, I think people need to know who we are, at least from that ground level to this point, and you guys do a great job with that piece. And people need to know you have to have a passion for that. Because I know what you guys have done. David, you started this, and look where you're at today. You've got to be proud of all the things that you guys have developed for it. I've always known you as that historian. That's what I always went to. Like, hey, David, do you know about this? I did. I made a few phone calls over the years and calling you because you were that bookmark for me. And I think for you, Sheri, I think it's just going to continue. I love Dennis's attitude for what we're going to do to restore the bank building. I think for everybody that listens, we just want you to find things that you enjoy in this podcast. But I think if you can at least see ways that you can learn more about it through this podcast. Do you want to tell them about your email address? Do you have some contact information you want to put out there? Whatever you want to do?
Yeah, or
Yes.
just the hours of the museum also. Just
Well, the hours are Monday through Friday,
Okay.
10 a.m. to 4.
Okay.
And the email address that you can use is easy. It's BCHM for Bullitt County History Museum, 40165, our zip code,
Okay.
at gmail.com. BCHM 40165 at gmail.com. Come in and see us. There are so much things to see there and we're still, what we're going to do next is the room that's right under our office, display room A, I think, isn't it?
I can never remember A or B.
Well, regardless, the one under our office, we're going to remodel that one in spring because that's usually when the grants start flowing and we can get some cases. I want to redo some cases. And then I got to see if I can plead to the judge to let us put some cases in the halls at some point because we are out of space. We are out of room.
That has been a great cooperation, though, with fiscal court.
Oh, yes.
Three or four administrations now, but it is almost unique to have a museum in the county courthouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really.
And that partnership has been really great.
They love us. We love them.
Well, if people are coming through there, it gives them a chance why they're there. They may be only coming through because of something to do with the court system or coming to the physical court for something.
Pay your
and
ticket and come to the museum. No, I was kidding.
Actually,
Pay that speeding ticket.
very
Come on back.
seriously, especially this time of year, everybody's getting that nasty
Oh, yeah.
property tax
Oh, yeah.
bill,
Oh, yeah.
and they go in the building to pay it. And we've taken some pride for years that you go in and those people are frowning; they're not happy.
Yeah, right.
I'm not
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But they'll peek in, they'll notice displays and toys from when they were childhood
Yeah.
and things, and most of the time they're smiling.
It's a little
better.
small. They get-
a little easier to take
The
that
wallet's a
better.
little lighter, but they're smiling.
Other information on the museum, I should point out, we have a very good website. Webmasters.
Charles Hartley.
Charles Hartley, sorry, and long time. A lot of people know him as a teacher before he retired, and he takes care of that. And we are always putting new stuff on that webpage, BullittCountyHistory.org. Again,
BullittCountyHistory.org.
long but
Yes.
remember.
Okay, no, that's
And,
okay.
a lot of
We'll stick
active
that in the show
information
notes.
there. Yeah.
And we too, we'll get with Amber and we'll get with our folks. We'll put all that on our webpage, which is the ShepherdsvilleKY.gov.
Yeah,
and we'll put
I
things
think
on
you
it.
might
for
have
you.
had that already. but
It may
please do
be,
check.
but we'll double check it because obviously there's different venues. People are going to find things, but we really do want them to find you guys because I think what you're doing is awesome. I think your 20 years is awesome. I thought what you did that day was really a really cool thing.
That was so fun.
It was
and
fun.
the advertisements I got were just the Pioneer News, Kentucky Living Magazine,
Yep.
Facebook, just
Yep.
over and over. And then tourism posted it on the kiosks, and you all mentioned it, and
Yep.
the chamber mentioned it. So we did good.
Yeah, and that's the biggest piece. Again, we talk a lot about this community, and we are showing that when we work together, we get a lot more out there. And I think people are starting to see that it's always been there. The people have been here. The history's been here. Now getting that out there, and I think it's because of what you guys have done, and we appreciate that. We've got a big project with the Bank Salon. It's going to be great over the next year to get all that taken care of. So again, another venue for the people to see that. I want to thank you all for being here. I think the thing for me is I'm not sure if there's anything else you want to add, but can't wait to see what you're doing next. All right, and
Let me say
Yeah.
that quickly.
Yeah.
thankful to your administration doing so much in the city. But I'm really proud as the old guy, which I'm trying to be more just the old guy.
Yeah, he is the old guy, by the way. He's older than me. I just want to make sure that's clear.
Way older.
Just making sure.
But to see it continue with Sheri and the increasing number of volunteers and things really makes me feel good, because so many organizations fail because there is just a person that runs it.
Yeah.
And he may be devoted, she may be devoted, but sooner or later they die, they're gone, and that's when a lot of organizations die.
Yep.
But I'm really proud to see that it's going to go on.
Yeah, and again, you're going to make it more accessible. We're going to see more people to see it. It's going to be part of, hey, why don't we come downtown? Let's go through the museum. It almost becomes part of an activity that you do, right? But you might do it maybe 2 or 3 times a year, whereas you might have done it once every couple of years. Now you're going to get a chance, and the more things that you keep adding, and what we do across the street from you over there in the town square will be kind of fun.
One of the kindest things David told me the other day is, I think you're busier than me.
She's a fireball.
Yeah, you know what, and that's okay, because I'm competitive too. Yeah, I think it's okay to say that, because it obviously means a lot for the community that gets more exposed to who we are about. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and there were just several. I'm realizing it sounds like her and I only, but there's so many good volunteers now. But people like Ken, Barbara Bailey, Sam Hardy, several others that helped establish that from the beginning. Nick Simon.
Nick Simon, God rest him. Yeah. I tell you what, I think the world of him and his family. And I think the biggest thing there is we're going to continue. You'll probably see between your grant money and things that continue to grow here, people are going to want to do some more things for you, and maybe even bring you more part of our history, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
You mentioned that about the veterans and bringing you some more World War II stuff. I think you said that's going to be really cool. I think for us, did you want to add something else, Sheri?
I'm good.
No, I just want to make sure, because we're going to give Sheri some time, David. You just back away from that. So anyway, a couple fun things for you. So David and I talked about it. We've been walking through the park, and he was going to bring it up. I'm going to go ahead and bring it up. So there was a dome as you go towards the pavilion area there in the first part of the park, and I looked up and saw it. I said, "What is that?" I didn't understand what the correlation was.
Said a little more than what is that.
Well, I'm trying to keep it nice for the program here. It's like, what is that? Probably added a couple words, but anyway. So, David, do you want to tell just a little bit about that?
Thank you. Yeah, yes. It was a weird thing, and we laugh about it because it's not that critical of a thing. But when the Judicial Center, not the courthouse here in Shepherdsville, but the Judicial Center behind it, when that was built, and you'll see a big tower on the top of it. But when they had a lot of trouble about midway through, it got stopped, and there was some troubles with the builder and things. And part of the problem was the original iron piece that was going to be the tower. It wasn't any good. It was poorly designed for that, and they had set it to the side. And as I recall, the county was going to have to pay $10,000 to pay somebody to scrap it out. And I'm thinking, well, it's kind of a neat art piece. It's one of those open gazebos, the frame, the arch over the top, and all this stuff. And so I checked in with the city administration at the time and some others, and ended up, rather than pay somebody to take it, it's kind of an artistic thing about putting it in the park.
Depends on what you think art is.
Yeah. So
I'm just throwing
art is in the eye of the beholder, apparently.
Yeah.
So it's been there for quite a few years. People might remember it in the center of the park.
Yeah.
And so Jose did not.
And I'll say this, because there's two things. I get the history part. I really do. I think anything like that is really cool. I don't know where to put it. We are actually going to schedule that for David's front yard.
No, thank you. The original vision was what is the Kincaid as an artist, and he draws a lot of those kind of gazebos with wisteria growing on it and stuff, and it never quite turned out.
No, it's really good. It's a laughable thing, but it really is still part of the history. So I keep all that in perspective. But it's just fun. It's a fun thing for me and David.
So you're keeping part of it. Apparently.
Well, we've got it at the Public Works, what we call the farm area there by the park.
The bottom frame you've kept.
The bottom. Yeah, we're keeping that. We're going to put an awning on that, because when you get in that area, what we'd like to be is, if it does rain, that we wanted to where you can get into that cover area. People know it. It's got the planter in the middle of it. It's that. So we're going to fix up and put it in. But it's been a fun thing for me and David. We've had some good fun with it. But I do think we look at developing the park. We're trying to make more areas like that, some covering, so that when it does rain, if we have those kind of events, that you can get underneath areas. Again, in the park, we're putting that. If you haven't seen it yet, there's a pickleball court and a basketball court on that side of the park, right there. It's on.
Is that the paved area?
Yes, that's what those areas are there for, and then we're going to have that in it. We want to have areas of the park where you can do these type of things. That's what a park is for, right? And then we've got a beautiful riverfront. I know people think of it like Salt River not being a big river, but it's a beautiful time, and we've cleared it all out through there. We're making the 5K trail to walk back through there. Love to get with you guys on that too. We really want people that want to sponsor benches to actually have maybe a sign there about something about Shepherdsville. A lot of times people want to put it out there for loved ones, and that's fine too. But we think that's a good thing to do. Is I want you to know more about Shepherdsville. We are so far behind in so many ways, but we want people to know who we are. This is a great community with a lot of good people, especially you two that have the passion to keep out that information out there. We appreciate it. And what we're going to do with a lot of our guests, we were talking about this earlier, that we're going to make sure, first of all, the email address again for this program, I forgot.
It's yeswayjosemail@gmail.com.
That was not
quite as good.
We're going to have
lagging
to, we want to
behind on that
apologize on the podcast. We didn't have it in sync on that. Again, gentlemen, I forgot. What was that email address again?
yeswayjosemail@gmail.com.
There we go.
Bam, we hit it. So, and all kidding aside, we love our show. It's kind of fun with it, but we do love having you on. And we would like to do with all of our guests, we're going to come back a year later and come back and bring back and talk, hey, where are we at? Remember, we had this podcast, so we all got to listen to this podcast prior to coming on to the next year's podcast so we can kind of measure, what do we do? How far more are we doing with the museum, the bank salon? How about some historical places throughout the park? Talk about our city and our county. It's obviously very important. We're part of a county that I want to see grow as well. So we thank you very much for your passion. And I think that's what it is. It's just passion. And we see that people that succeed in the world, they're not wanting money or glory. They just want it to be something they love and they can get out there that's really informative for what you guys do. So we thank you very much for being on the show. And we always make sure, did I forget anything? I'm running the traffic on 65. I've mentioned the Aquatic Center now 4 times. Did we leave anything out? Is there something? The facts matter?
I think we've said that you were the best mayor ever.
The best mayor ever. We got that out.
I think
That's
we
great.
covered it. Yeah.
Did we talk about Gaga Ball? I don't know.
Oh, we didn't talk about it. Do you guys know
not
what
to say that.
Gaga Ball? Do you know what it is?
Oh, I saw that over at the park. I think.
Yeah, so that's that black.
It's taken over.
It's taken over. So a lot of our episodes, we actually had something out there that we were just making fun. We were just exaggerating that he was coaching a world champion Gaga Ball team, and we had fun with it. But we want to make people to know that it is a very fun sport for the smaller kids. They love that Gaga Ball.
I got to watch that.
Yeah, so it is. You got to go video learn about it. But we also have it here Saturday mornings. This is 4 Saturdays. We got 3 more Saturdays before Thanksgiving at no charge on Saturday mornings. And for everybody, you guys need to know that we put on programs every Saturday morning for the kids at no charge, whether it's basketball, soccer, volleyball, the Gaga Ball. We just want kids to just run around, have a good time. And we know sometimes money's tight.
Yeah.
And so we really want to make sure kids really get out there because our kids are our future.
Right.
Yeah, like Eli. He's a kid.
He's technically an adult now.
Yeah.
Now, that's just up
Going to vote
for,
after
that,
this.
Yeah.
That's an important thing to
yeah.
do. So listen, for everybody, it's going to be too late for this one, but we obviously want to make sure anytime you listen, we do want you to know, be involved in your community, vote, learn about your community, which you guys do. Thank you all very much. And we have one last requirement. When we get done with the show, we make everybody do it. It's the 1, 2, 3. David's going, oh,
You seem really excited about that.
I can see he's right. Sherry's ready to go. David's like, I got to do this. Yes, you do. It's 1, 2, 3. It'll be love, peace, chicken grease. So are we ready? 1, 2, 3. Love, peace, chicken grease. Hey, thank you guys for listening. We appreciate it. Thank you all very much.
Thank you for having us.
You're very welcome. Have a great day.